generational talents, can you, at the top there? And I wonder, just with this generation of cars, were at a circuit like this able to handle them in a way that some of the other drivers aren't?
Yes, you are correct. Generational talents, and they're all very similar in the way that they drive a race car. That really shows with this type of car this year. It seems to be, you know, bringing their talents to the front.
Yeah, and I mean, then you look at someone like George, for example, who's perhaps struggled this year the way that he likes the car. He likes it smooth. That's what he wants. He wants to be able to trust that car, and I wonder how much that brings things into things. But let's just go back to Lewis and that lap. It just draws something special out of him, this circuit, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, most successful driver around the circuit, and I don't know, does it come down to the energy that he gets from the crowd, the few extra tenths, or is it really just that he knows this place like the back of his hand and he knows where to extract those extra little bits? I mean, obviously, Sector 3 seemed to be like the place where he's really making that difference. I mean, that doesn't come down purely just to the driver, but I mean, even from Ferrari's side, I mean, it's the package that comes together that has to make that lap time come together, and he's obviously very happy, and they're delivering great results at multiple different style circuits. So they, you know, putting pressure.
I mean, we were looking, because it was those two that were the top two at the end of the practice session, and Ant compared them at the Skypad, and they were, you know, Lewis was picking different lines from Kimi.
He is. He does, sorry. He turns in a lot earlier than Kimi. Kimi apex is a lot later around the corner, which seems to work well when you watch Lewis's laps. The rear does get a little bit unstable when he's trying to get on the throttle because he's still got steering lock in, but it didn't seem to hurt him, did it?
No, I mean, that is nothing as well, 1/100th. And you saw the respect. I mean, these two love each other, don't they? Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton. There's almost you could say father figure kind of thing going on, isn't there? Because it was arms around him at the end, and I think Kimi enjoyed that one almost as much as Lewis did. Let's go to the Skypad. I think Anthony is there because he's going to... I think we were talking about it, and we didn't even know you were going to do it again for us, but on hand as ever to compare Kimi and Lewis.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. So yeah, just a quick one. I mean, when you're talking about such small gains between the two drivers who drove brilliantly throughout their laps, when it comes to such small gains, you have to look at the smaller details, obviously. So I've lined them up on the exit of Turn 5 on the Wellington Straight. So before we get to Brooklands, and I just want to show you that when you get to the 50-meter board, at least on the right-hand side, that it's at this point on the straight, it's still neck and neck. You see the marker board that I've used as a reference there. So it's not like the Ferrari's deploying more electrical energy at this part of the track, so it's even here. So now we look at the actual cornering differences between them, so you can eradicate the straight line performance between the two cars. Now it's into the cornering, and I'll just play it in slow motion. So you can see that, like we said, that the line that Lewis has taken, compared to where he was earlier on beforehand, he's now not fighting the car here. So this was after FP1. We showed a clip of him fighting the rear of the car. That's not the case this time around. And Kimi lets the car run out ever so slightly wider, look, onto the red and white curb properly compared to where Lewis has placed the car. That allows Lewis to get back over to the left slightly more before turning in and committing to Luffield. But it's this part here where Lewis is absolutely playing with the rear of the car, and he's keeping the car a little bit tighter through this corner. And when we roll it on to one of these red curbs that I've used as a reference, you can see at this mid-corner point already Lewis is making up a bit of time. So this is just in 1.5 corners Lewis has managed to just extract that little bit of difference. And it's probably that difference alone is what separated them by the time they got to the line. But if we roll it on even further, I'll just get rid of that marker for you. If I roll it on even further and use the white line as a reference, by the time they're on full throttle at this point, yeah, there's that white line. Look, you can see that gain made in the mid-corner continues when they start to get on full power. So it's those kind of differences that you're looking for in a lap when it's so close. What was it, 11 thousandths of a second or something ridiculous? So yeah, amazing job by Lewis there. I've watched the rest of the lap. It's absolute perfection.
Absolute perfection, that's what gets it done. But Kimi was close, as we saw. Absolute hair's breadth. Let's hear from both of the Mercedes drivers, starting with the teenager.
Oh, Kimi, there was nothing in it out there. You look like you've been so quick out there. So just to miss out, how gutted is it?
Yeah, I mean, it was so close, and it was a shame. I felt, to be fair, Q1 I felt a bit bad. I didn't feel great in the car, but then we made a slight balance adjust, and SQ2 felt night and day. And we suddenly were back in the pace, and SQ3 was a little bit left on the table, but was a decent lap, and unfortunately was super close to Lewis. But of course, congrats to him, and on our side, we'll focus on to tomorrow now.
I know that you said after Austria that you wanted to go full focus again. It felt like you did that today. You looked quick all day. I know you said not quite comfortable. That must be really good for you, right? That feeling you've got.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean the car I felt good. Ferrari, they've done an incredible step forward. So definitely it's going to be very tough. Plus Lewis even is in a great form. So, but that's good. We like the challenge, and we'll try to make the best out of it.
You can fight for the win tomorrow, though, Kimi.
Yeah,
can't you?
of course. We'll go for it, and we'll try to do our best. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but everything is on the table to do well. So we'll make sure that we do well.
Hey, George. It looked like you were chasing it a little bit today. Just sum up kind of where you were with the car, and how that kind of went into sprint quali, and the disappointment obviously to miss out today.
I mean, it's kind of story of a year, to be honest. Always on the back foot. Usually come Q3 can generally make a step. Today, not quite the case. It was very close to P3, but still very much off the pace of Lewis and Kimi. So need to try and understand why that is. It's a bit strange.
Did you know out of the box this morning that maybe it wasn't quite where you wanted it to be, the car?
Yeah, I think it's feeling quite good out there, to be honest. It's not feeling too bad. I think we was all expecting it to feel a bit worse, just in terms of driving these cars here. But it actually felt quite okay, and the high speed felt fast. But as I said, relative lap time just not really there. So we need to understand tomorrow's the more important day.
And surprised about the pace of Ferrari as well?
Very surprised. Very surprised. They've been on the back foot with the PU and energy management, and here they look the best at the moment. So that's been a real surprise. We've always known they've had a great chassis. But yeah, I think some things aren't quite making sense. If I were to have predicted, I'd have said Ferrari quick last week and us to be quick this week. Obviously, Kimi did a great job, but still, Ferrari have had the upper hand all day.
Well, best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
It is very, very tight out there. What made the difference today?
Good question. I think looking at the overlays, relative to Lewis, most cars lost in turn 3-4. So it looked like he just had a brilliant start to his lap and it flowed from there. But on our side, that's the biggest difference. But incredibly close. Great lap from Kimi after maybe a bit of a struggle in Q1 and Q2. And for George, he was just a little bit, I think, behind the curve, struggling for confidence and grip in those early stages. And so, again, did a great job to get it up to P5. And then, obviously, after tomorrow's sprint, we got a chance to improve things and see what we can do in quali main race.
Yeah, I'm sure that George will be looking for those improvements. I think everyone saw on the radio, he was saying, similar things have happened in qualifyings between Q1 and Q2 for George. How do you explain it?
Yeah, he's got that same feeling that he just lacks grip. The car lacks confidence. I think the tyres were cool starting the lap. So he needed to, we had to coach him through more energy into the tyres. I think the guys had talked about it before the session, and then just seeing exactly where we need to land the tyre temperatures, because if you open the lap well, then it flows from there. I think he said the same last week in Austria, that get turn 1 right and then it sort of feels like it just unfolds from that point. So that was really the key thing.
Okay, Lewis is, Lewis well. He's very keen on saying, if we had a Mercedes engine, you wouldn't catch us for dust. And he's saying, well done to Mercedes, that they've always got the best engine. That Ferrari engine's not too bad itself, is it?
I was going to say, Lewis has been doing interviews a lot longer than I have, and he's a pretty savvy operator, isn't he? So, they didn't look too bad down the straights today, that's for sure.
Good stuff. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that is the head scratcher, isn't it? When we interviewed Lewis Naomi yesterday it was now, and he was just not predicting this to go well for him this weekend. Long straights, we know that, energy starved, and that has been the problem for them, as those, particularly George was pointing out. So tell me, what's changed?
Yeah, that's, I think, the million-dollar question. We obviously saw in Miami a similar situation where the teams are, having sort of different theories around deployment and deployment mapping and choosing where exactly they're going to be recharging the battery versus deploying that energy. And I don't know if that's what's making the difference around here. I just looked at the speed traces from practice, because the sprint quali ones aren't available yet, and they don't actually seem to be much slower in the straights. So maybe they've made some difference, maybe they've made some changes that have helped them on that.
Yeah, it's not just a power circuit though, is it? It's not like Monza.
No.
Here you have a lot of high-speed corners leading onto those straights, and it looks like the Ferrari's carrying a lot of speed. So I think that's some of it. The cooler temperatures as well, I'm sure, is a positive effect on the power unit.
Okay, we're going to see, though, of course, the long-run pace and how they compare tomorrow. That is going to be the key come Sunday. But on the evidence of that one-lap pace...
Hey, Maxwell, given where it looked like you were this morning, FP1 from the outside, are you reasonably happy to be in the top 3 and sprint
I
quality?
think so, yeah. I mean, for us, probably the outcome of SQ3 was... yeah, we'll try to do that, of course, after the sprint.
Did the car feel much better in sprint quality relative to this morning?
A little bit better, yeah. So not where I wanted to be. I guess it's also just a combination of, how the layout is now, let's say like that, with some limitations on the straight, and just getting the balance in the right window.
Do you think you can take the fight to Kimi and Lewis in front tomorrow?
They look a bit quick. So, and I guess, they look quick, so normally, teammate related, they should be quick also in race space if everything calms down a little bit. So for me, I think it will be more of a battle with the guys behind me.
Well, best luck tomorrow, thanks.
Yeah, he's not changed his attitude. He's been very pragmatic about it all weekend. He didn't think he was going to have the car at all to challenge on or at least he thought that it was going to be one of those weekends, which was a headache for him. But Max being Max, when you look at how tight it was between 3rd and 7th, just those fractions that he more often than not gets right.
And also, obviously we're going to give Max all the credit that's due, but you've got to say that Red Bull, very often under these high-pressure situations like sprint weekends, do extract a lot out of one session. They were 9/10 off after free practice 1, and then they closed that gap down to 3/10. So with the help of Max, obviously they're able to identify the problems and very quickly adapt them. So you could still see frustration from him at the end of the session there. And I think that that's mostly just because he expects more out of it, and hopefully he's going to point out more issues for them to get closer.
We talk about it so often. Is he the driver on the grid that makes more of a difference than any other driver to the performance of the car? I'm not talking about out-driving the car, because that's not perhaps something you can do, and I'm not sure we like that expression, but he is a differentiator, isn't he?
Yes, I agree with that. I think that is the case. This qualifying session, though, sprint qualifying session, I wouldn't say that's the case, because Hadjar is just over a tenth and a half off of him, as Naomi mentioned earlier, much closer than the Ferraris and Mercedes even. So I think they both did a really good job. With a car that's maybe not quite under them. As he said, deployment issues, they haven't quite got their head around that. So I think for the true qualifying, for the feature race, maybe we'll see them even more competitive and fighting for that.
Optimization.
Yes, exactly, fighting for that pole.
Yep, Lando has out-qualified in sprints his teammate Oscar Piastri on every occasion so far this year. He even had a bit of damage to the car as well. Let's hear from both of the McLaren drivers, who will start from 6th and 7th tomorrow.
Well, Lando, I think we saw you had some, was it rear brake duct damage and
front?
Front. Yeah, we saw the brake duct. Was that kind of hampering you all the way through, ultimately, even with the nose change?
It was, yeah, quite actually a lot more than I thought, because only the final run we managed to fix it. The guys did a good job on fixing it for the final run, but the car was just completely different and way better again. So it's just. It felt pretty shocking for most of it. Just lucky that we managed to fix it, because it felt like a completely different car. But by the time I got the feeling for the final lap, I felt like I could have just pushed way more. So a little bit just unfortunate today. But I think also the pace was still there or thereabouts.
Yeah, it was close from Max downwards. Tomorrow, what sort of race car do you think? Can you make a few places? How racy can you be?
I will try, but the cars we're around, I think maybe the Red Bull we can potentially compete against, but the Mercedes of George is clearly just a lot quicker, so to fight a much quicker car like that is going to be difficult, but you never know. So I felt happier at the end. I just need to understand a few things and see what we can improve into tomorrow. Just
finally, backing from the fans. An amazing sight to see your fans there. I saw them. I was up there. You gave them a little wave in practice today.
Yeah, that was always good. Also for Lewis to be on P1 on pole for tomorrow is a cool thing for all the fans. Again, still a cool thing for me, even me to see. So yeah, unfortunate we don't have the pace to compete against them, but always just nice to see the fans, see the yellow, see my grandstand. So hopefully we can have a better day for them tomorrow.
Good luck, thank you.
Oscar, how are you feeling after that quali session? I know kind of maybe going into it you probably knew you might not be in the fight for pole today, but is that kind of where you thought you'd end up shaking out?
Yeah, more or less. I think after practice we looked pretty slow. So it's about where we thought we'd be. I think, to be honest, probably closer to that next pack behind Kimi and Lewis. So a tricky day, to be honest, but we'll try and improve for tomorrow.
Did the car feel much better then from practice through to sprint quali then? Because the gap, at least, you were quite close, weren't you, to Max and to Charles in terms of overall performance?
It improved a bit, definitely, but not as much as we need, unfortunately. So I felt like I've really been on it today, and we've just not had the pace. So a bit of a shame, but we'll try again tomorrow.
Well, best of luck tomorrow. Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you.
And just a very quick one, gents, with regards to what we've talked about, McLaren being a customer team, the start of a rule cycle like this, when you look at the other three of the top four teams, and they're not, they're effective, well, they are, they're works teams. They think they're kind of 3 months behind. Is that what you think's hurting them at the moment more than anything?
No, I think it's probably more the upgrades. Zach in FP1, when we spoke to him during the session, he said they have upgrades coming after Silverstone. It's just a shame it's not here for their home race. But I think it's just a cycle of upgrades more than anything else.
Okay, brilliant. Before we go, here we go. Here's the sprint pole sitter again, Lewis.
Lewis, many congratulations. You didn't need to look at the timing screen. You could hear the crowd telling you were on pole. How pleasing was that today?
I am so happy, so happy. Honestly, because if you even heard me in the press conference, you're like, oh, the track's not going to be the same, because that's what we all thought, and the track's still phenomenal. The track still feels great. The engine drop-off is not anywhere near what we anticipated, and then on top of that, we really thought, yesterday they were scaring me. They were like, you're going to be 6/10 off in a straight line to these guys, and in the last race we were 4/10 off in the straight line, and then today all of a sudden we're kind of there, and I was like, is this real? Are they going to turn up in quali? And we were right there competing with them. So it just goes back to, I always want to bring it back to everyone back at the factory, because I can't say it enough. They're pushing. Like last year we were kind of stuck in the rut. Not a lot we could do. Now they're finding things, they're adding things to the car, and this weekend, every single weekend, we're bringing small little bits and adding performance to this car, and it felt awesome. Silverstone track it's the best track to drive.
They were literally all moaning about it yesterday, and then it's quite a turnaround, isn't it? Because I think going into turn 4, it's like 20 kph slower than the Mercedes in Austria. Well, I don't know what's changed, but clearly he's a lot happier cat.
He is happier, and as you say, first of all, great that everybody's happier on track than it sounded like they were going to be. That's good news for them. It's good news for us. But yeah, I mean, obviously they had an engine upgrade a couple of races ago. I wonder if that's played into it. But obviously in Austria, it didn't look like that was the case. And I think that the biggest difference really is the ambient temperature. I mean, the weatherman walked past here a couple of minutes ago. I think his name's Jensen Button, and pointed that point out, that it is a lot cooler than it was in Austria. And that could be the one thing that's keeping that engine sort of singing.
Yeah, and James Vowles pointing out that he thinks, this was a little bit early, we might get some great racing here.
Yeah, you will. This is always a fun track, and it's really close at the front, and they're all, going to be out there to win tomorrow. Obviously, Kimi is in a very different position to the others, but still, I think it's going to be a hard race.